Hello, friends. It is Wednesday, May 3rd at roughly 8:21 p.m. 64 degrees out.
Beautiful night.
Beautiful night.
Sun's still out.
Sun is just barely up.
Yep.
We got for about 15, 20 more minutes, I think. Wind is out of the southeast, I believe, at about 3 miles an hour.
I wouldn't go that high, but okay.
Well, I'm just listening to my main man, Brandon Livy.
Yep.
So, needless to say, it is finally the evening that we have been hoping for since we started.
Yeah, before we started.
Since before we started this podcast. And let me tell you what, we have a great show on hand for tonight. I'm telling the future right now.
This might be our number one hit.
If it's not, then we're not going to get any better.
No, we've tapped out.
Because as we pointed out a couple weeks ago, we really don't know any celebrities. So
Nope.
that's out. So we're going to do the best that we can. So anyway, before I introduce our special guest for tonight's podcast, I just want to go and explain everything that we kind of went through to get him here.
It was a gauntlet.
Not easy. First of all, we never talked directly to him. It
Nope.
was somebody that claims to be his agent.
Yep.
And here's just a couple of the little demands that were said to us. For number one, it's pretty obvious. It's got to be warmer than 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yep.
check. Okay? Humidity had to be less than 25%.
Yep.
Check.
Slight wind.
It's just a slight wind just to keep it cool. Okay? Another one of the demands was random Gatorade stops along the route. Okay?
Which we placed them.
Place strategically. Okay? And remember, if you believe everything we say on this, you're an idiot. Okay? Another one, you have to. We had to supply those cool shoes with the wheel on the back, so just in case he gets tired. Good. Wheel. Just in case he gets tired, he could wheel along a little bit, coast, maybe down a hill. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that might have been it.
That might be it.
Needless to say, we got none of that.
No.
Except the temperature part. But we are honored and blessed to have Mr. Coach Brady Driscol with us this evening. Brady, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. 61 degrees and exactly 3-mile-per-hour winds. I tell you, it's so awkward. I just walked by. You guys told me not to talk until now, and we just walked by some people. They say, "Hey guys," and I didn't say anything.
Needless to say, this podcast has started off with a bang. It's been great.
Absolutely.
It's been great. Even if we stopped right now, it'd be a really good one.
Best intro yet.
Yes, it's been good. So as cool as it was to have Carter on last week, that was totally just random. It was not planned. So
No.
I didn't think we were very well prepared. Not like we ever are, but
No.
we were just, it was new. So we're learning. So this has been in the works for, 3 hours or so.
Yep.
So I think we've had our time. We're prepared now.
Yep.
So I'm just going to start it off. I would like Brady just to kind of give us a background of where he's from, upbringing, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. No, I obviously Laporte City. Grew up there whole life. Went to Union High School. Did it all in the athletic field. Was a four-sporter year round. Had a blast doing it. Wouldn't change it for a thing. I don't think there's not too many four-sporters anymore. Small school, big school. I think they're kind of dwindling. Even when I was in school, there wasn't that many. Then after school, went to UNI, teaching degree. Didn't do any sports there. Played your intramural stuff just to stay active, and it was fun.
Oh yeah.
And then after graduating from UNI, I applied here, got the job here, and been here. This is year 3. It's been awesome.
Quick 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a quick 3 years. Really quick.
Wow. Well, that's cool. So, obviously, being from Union, you've had the opportunity to compete against Appling to Parkersburg in many sports, be in the same conference, the NICL.
Oh yeah.
Are there any in particular that really stood out, or any individuals that you competed against that may or may not be listening to this podcast right now that that really, have a lot of memory in your head?
Yeah, no, came back. We were walking by it right now, baseball field. Me and one Carter Hoff actually came back by coincidence, same day from an injury, and it happened to be the day that we were playing up here. And I'm pretty sure it's the same game. This isn't gonna be great for AP, but Union, we were down 9 going into the 5th, and after 10 runs, after 5 innings, you're down 10. It's just a game. But we were down 9, so we had to keep playing, and we came back and we won. I think one Nick Waller took home, I think 2 losses that night in the doubleheader. Wasn't probably his most fond memory, but it was one that stuck out to me. And then another one was football. Actually, was probably the coldest game.
I had to bring that up.
He
Well, I didn't
went
say the
there.
score, I just the cold.
He
I'll
went
say the
there.
score. We got whooped.
Yeah. The cold was, I mean, it was like sleeting and windy, and I remember warm-ups was just like, oh my God, we still got to play the game after this. But we came out and I think actually fumbled the opening kickoff. You guys got it on like the 25 or something. I don't remember much after that.
Yeah. That was definitely one of the coldest games
Yep.
that I remember coaching.
I'm not gonna lie, I did leave early that game.
Yep, that seems about right for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Oh, easy.
Okay, so I'm kind of taking over the questions, and I shouldn't be doing that, but I have one more question
No,
before Brad gets the
Go
next
for it,
one.
because I was kind of sprung on this at 4:00 and have
Yeah.
had zero time. I mean, time to prepare, but not a lot.
Right.
So I do have some questions, but they might not be as in depth as yours.
Okay, so in that game,
Yep.
one of the coldest that I've ever coached in.
Yeah.
We looked much colder than you guys did. What was said, what was done to get that edge when it was obviously not very pleasant out?
Well, a couple things. One, I've changed dramatic. I mean, I don't go outside. Obviously, I had the 60-degree requirement for the
Yes.
podcast wall, and that game was below freezing temperatures, and I still didn't wear any sleeves of any sort. So I have come a long way. not the greatest. But I remember too, Coach Hadachek, who was our coach for a long time at Union, in the summer, August days, those days get extremely hot, and camp days are long. But he would come in he would come in a full winter coat and snow pants and boots and hat and winter everything. And we're like, we're dying out there, and he's out there in that. I can only imagine how he felt. But he's kind of put the message on, like, if I'm out here surviving and I'm wearing this should be nothing for you guys. And so that kind of carried over, I think, the mentality. And, yeah, we knew it was going to be cold. I remember we were posted up in the bus barn for the locker room. And, yeah, we just knew it was going to be a cold one. But I think it kind of goes back to that setting the tone early on in camp of no matter conditions, no matter what the temperature is, you power through it and you push it aside and you go play the game.
Just you saying that, Coach Hadachek makes me really feel like a sissy right now.
You made us all feel like sissies.
Okay, good. Brad, what do you got?
Nothing right now, because
Okay.
that was awesome.
This is, yeah. I
Part of
know.
me was like, all right, Pollock,
I
are
remember-
you busting out the snow pants?
I remember
Hat.
looking though. I remember looking too though in that game, and we weren't wearing sleeves or anything in the warm, like when special teamers come out and kick return whatever quarterbacks, and we weren't wearing anything, and I was shivering on the inside. But I remember looking across and seeing like some sleeves. I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good. If they're cold, we can maybe do some damage. If we're cold on the inside, but
Because the story I heard with that game was Union went out to the field and looked over at the AP sideline and saw that we had heaters
Yeah, we definitely had a heater there.
on the
No,
sideline.
that wasn't relayed
Was that not-
to us or to me, or maybe I was so oblivious I don't even know. I do remember, actually I do remember 2 details from that game, actually 3. One of the plays that Union scored on was a fake reverse. To me,
That was early.
it was early. It was one of the first possessions we had, or first plays we had. And I got tackled. I didn't have the ball, but I got tackled. I was literally trying to push guys off of me. I'm like, I don't have the ball here. And, attempts like that, you don't want to get touched.
No.
Or I didn't anyway. I'm like, I do not have the ball. I'm pushing it off with both hands. I clearly don't have it. But yeah, and then we housed that like 70 yards or something early on.
Yep.
Actually had the play of the week on like KWO or KCRG or something. I had a one-handed catch that game.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
Forgot that.
he's a good catch there. And then the last one, one of the two, I can't remember who, but either Demonis or Nick Ellis could have absolutely blindsided me. But thank God I was decent friends with both of them, and they didn't. I remember just patting them on the stomach like, "Thank you, dude. I could have lost my life if you would have hit me, but they didn't." So that was thank you to either one of those guys. I can't remember who.
Those are big guys.
No, I was not,
Yeah.
and still am not.
Okay. So let's move on to.
Well, hold up.
Go ahead.
I feel like we need to do a little humbling here.
Okay.
Because, being down 9, come back and win, beating AP
Yeah.
in football. How are the other 2 sports?
Actually, basketball my junior year, we hit a buzzer beater to beat AP at home.
Okay.
I think we had 5 wins that year. But the rest of the basketball games didn't go well. And then track. I remember running against CJ May too at Wartburg.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yep, he was
Yeah,
decent.
I specifically remember either the 4x8 or 4x4. You know, at those indoor tracks, you lose track how many laps you're on of what race it was. I remember sitting right behind him and running. I'm thinking every 3 steps I'm taking, he's taking 1. I'm working so much harder than he is, I think.
And in your defense, he was a very long strider.
Yeah, he
and
was.
a taller guy anyway.
Yeah.
And he
so.
made me feel bad because I was older than him. I'm like, I'm sitting behind a kid that's younger than me. It's kind of an ego check.
He wasn't normal, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah, no, I gathered that from his later success in school.
Okay. So let's move forward a little bit. You are now coaching at Appleton Parkersburg. You are the girls' head basketball coach.
Hey, we're going to dabble into your history here. Okay?
Mine or his?
Yours.
Oh gosh.
Is he the youngest coach to take a team to state?
I mean, I didn't do any fact checking since you didn't. You just sprung
I
this on
just
me.
sprung this on you. That's why I said we're going to juggle your memory.
Well, I think we need to look it up.
I do too.
I feel like I came in with a lot of good players here.
And that's a sign of a good coach. You know? How old are you?
26.
26. Okay.
When were you when you?
I became head coach at 26 here.
Okay.
So I had coaching job, couple college jobs before that.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's not easy to do.
No.
At a young age.
Right.
Props to you for that, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, head girls basketball coach at Appleton Parkersburg.
Do you guys only walk up hills?
The city, what you'll find is just when you drive the city of Parkersburg, you don't understand how hilly it actually is.
I feel like we haven't gone down a hill yet.
No, I remember.
Somehow hit all uphill.
I actually found that out when I ran the 5K here that happens over the Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, I can run a 5K with the best of them at the time.
Yeah.
But it was horrible, absolutely horrible. But we're almost to the top right here until we go down for a bit, and then we'll head back up again. Okay, so, all right, here we go. I think I've asked this question 5 times now. Anyway, head girls basketball coach at Appleton Parkersburg, you have one of the rarest opportunities that I can think of when you get to coach against your father.
Yeah.
Who is twice a year because they're in the same conference as us, the head girls coach at Union. What is that like? Since you've been around him, obviously coaching forever, for a long time. Coached with him
in baseball.
Years, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so what is that like? Do you feel like you know all the secrets? What's the deal there?
And the secrets part, yeah, I feel like because he's done the same stuff for a lot of years. Now they execute it really well, and they know what they're doing. Obviously, they're well coached, so they have success with it. But I feel like he's unique in that he has his kids know a lot of defenses, and obviously just takes away others' best players if he's got the right personnel with funky defenses. So I always, going into that game, I feel pretty good about personnel versus personnel, but the coaching matchup, I'm like, he's going to throw something at me that I've never seen.
For sure. Yep.
So I always second guess that a lot. Haven't seen it yet, knock on wood. But it would have been interesting to know or to coach against him when he had his better teams, because right now they're down in numbers a little bit. They got 3 good seniors, going to be seniors next season. but they're not real deep like they have in the past. He's about 350 wins. Um, a lot of those came. It's been 4, 6, like the last 6 years hasn't been the best in terms of record wise, but prior to that, they used to kind of almost be like the Dyke of the conference, where they would win
Oh
it
yeah.
every single year, and that was all my days through school and growing up, going to every game. Um, you just expect when you show up, and it's just another night, another night, another win.
Yeah.
So it would have been interesting to play when he's had one of his better record-wise teams. But on the flip side of it, playing him, I don't really like it all that much. Actually, I thought I would the first time we played, but we pounded him pretty good. It wasn't that fun to see him just all that upset. I don't like, you don't want to see your dad upset or get mad. The expense.
Well, that's funny you say that, because if I would have gone up against my father coaching and I drubbed him, I would be talking mad. Mad.
I'm scared of him a little bit. And
I'm not saying I'm not scared of my father, but
my sister too. The first year, my sister was a senior playing too, so I coached against him on the sideline, and then my sister as a player.
Wow.
And then obviously my mom, and my other sister in the crowd, and then my grandma too.
Well,
I feel like they're all kind of against me.
What was the next family get together like after that?
Say Christmas.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah. Well, he's not oblivious. He knows that on paper we're probably the better team. And that would have taken a lot for them to beat us. So he's not like, I don't know, like super shocked or anything. But no, it's not like a headbutting. It's not a conflict or anything like that. It's been pretty civil. If there was like a call at the end of the game, if something were to happen like that, either way, I don't know what it'd be like. Probably not good for one of us.
Have you ever seen your dad get a technical?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay.
Not in a couple of years.
He seems really calm. I don't know him great, but he seems really calm.
He's had to probably since I've been here because he had a heart attack. So he's got to kind of keep the blood pressure down a bit.
Yep. I understand that.
Have you ever gotten one?
A heart attack or a
No,
T?
a technical.
No. I don't even know if I've been close. If it is
He's
gonna be
young.
for anything, it's gonna be something sarcastic. I say this.
Either that or you fill out the lineup card wrong or something like
close,
that.
or not
I've
give it
done
to
that.
Dillard in time.
That was my first technical.
It's gonna be for something stupid like that. Yeah.
It's probably gonna happen. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. So obviously this year, excellent season, right?
Yeah. No.
Excellent season. If you could look at, and this is impossible, but if you could look at like one reason why you think that this season was as successful as it was, what would it be?
Probably just the work of the girls. I mean, the work ethic. And AT talks about it a lot too with his boys. When you have the depth and you can practice against good scout team, or not even scout team, but just good like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, 1 through 20. We got 20 kids out last year. When all of them can give you something in practice and give a good look, and when you're playing 5-on-5 or 5-on-4 or whatever it is, and everybody is very competitive in it, that helps probably a lot more than what people might think. That might go kind of under the radar, but when you can scrimmage like that, in battle, I think that helps a ton because they all want playing time and they're all getting playing. When we play 11 deep every night, it's very good depth and it just wears on people.
Mm-hmm. Brad, I feel like I'm dominating the conversation.
No,
here.
you're good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys went through a little bit of I'll call it an X's and O's change over the off season. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Philosophy change maybe?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So, I mean, you don't have to like give away all your new secrets or anything like that, but number one, why did you do that? And number two, how did you go about making those changes?
Yeah. We actually started the prior year. I watched Newell Fonda play at state basketball against North Mahaska. In North Mahaska, we saw them at Grandview at a team camp, and they were the best shooting team I've ever seen, and they slaughtered us. So I knew they were legit. And then Newell Fonda made them look like a JV team at the state tournament. And so I was like, okay, I hadn't heard of Newell Fonda before that. So I looked into them a little more. and they played a lot of kids, had a lot of small kids, not a lot of height, a lot of guards, could all handle the ball, could all shoot, could play really good defense. Really a defense that I watched that game probably four or five times, and I still couldn't figure out what type of press they were in. So if I couldn't figure it out watching it there, it's impossible for kids to figure it out in the heat of the moment. So that summer I contacted their coach and went up and I talked with him for a while, and I went to Newell Fonda. I went to their youth camp for a couple of days and just picked his brain a little bit and saw what they did at the youth program. And their youth program is legit. I mean, they got kids there playing in 5th, 6th, 7th grade that would start for a lot of conference teams that we play, and maybe ourselves included. I mean, they are so good at the youth level. So I just went and picked his brain there and kind of saw what we had coming up with a lot of guards and the speed and quickness that we have, and wanted to kind of emulate what he was doing there. And he was awesome to talk to. He gave me a lot of information. That was the first time I really branched out, other than talking to people here or my dad. So I was kind of going on a limb there, but it paid off, and I learned a lot from it. So, and we've stayed in touch too. So he's had a lot of success, and he's going to keep having success. And so I'm going to keep following them and keep picking his brain.
That's awesome. What I'm finding in my coaching life is talking to guys that are similar situations as you.
Yeah.
Really makes a world of difference. Like, why would I go talk to a college or a 4A school about their offense or defense when most of their guys are one way and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, and those college things too, like they can pick and choose what they get in their to fit their system. Like we're dealt the hands given to us with the kids, and we just got to make, if it's changing from one year to another, always adapting and changing to fit what we got coming up or what we have now. It's different than in college. That's why some of the college stuff, it's good stuff, but it doesn't really fit the small town Iowa high school the way that we got it.
So, made it to state. Got to coach at the Well. Now, I've heard, I don't know, I haven't really heard much about like coaching there, but I've heard a lot about playing there. Some kids think it's like amazing. Some are kind of down on the atmosphere. What are your thoughts on, I mean, obviously it's a huge accomplishment to make it there.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome in that regard, but like the Well in particular, what are your thoughts on our team being there?
Yeah, well, the day was super fast but super long at the same time. Like it was a whirlwind of a day because we started here and went to school for half the day, and then going to each school and seeing the kids line up the hallways and the bus trip, and then stopping at the pep assembly too, getting all the bags and everything ready to roll, the stuff you got to fill out, and then stopping at Southeast Polk to shoot around, and then getting there, and that's all in the day. It's like we haven't even played yet. No, it's a big time stage. Obviously probably the number one thing is the shooting becomes a bit more of a factor. If you're an outside shooting team, you're more likely to struggle a little bit because you got so much of a backdrop that you're not used to in a high school setting. But no, it's a big stage. I talked to a couple people that coach there, and the biggest thing they said was make sure you take like 5 seconds and just soak it in real quick, because A, you don't know when you're going to be back, and B, it's a good accomplishment, and don't take it for granted.
That was deep.
Yeah.
That was really deep. That was good.
I agree with that because
yeah. Are you a fan? All right. Big shout out to Mary Huseman on the pod. Have a good night.
I would say that's the one thing when I've been there with the boys, like taking it all in, because you get lost in the game and the atmosphere and all the logistics of it. Like it is a heck of an accomplishment to be there.
Well, then I think of my dad, because he's been there in the early 2000s. Back actually when AP was pretty good. Yep. Shout out you and Hop Twins. I can go a funny story about them too, kind of a little, not really funny, but
I was gonna say, what are we saying on the pod here?
Yeah.
This is a Union AP rivalry.
Oh boy.
From maybe the year 2000 or 2001.
Be about right there. Yep.
Union was stacked. I think they had 4 D1 kids on their team, and then obviously AP was stacked.
Yep.
That year too. So again, Union AP, they played twice, same conference. Both games that year. Don't remember how old you would have to know what year they were in school, but both games ended in a true buzzer beater. Same kid hit both shots for Union to win both games. she went to Drake and played Natalie Robb.
Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah, she's not bad.
I mean, they had Tiffany Reed too, went to Iowa.
Yeah.
Sarah Hickman, Wyoming. And then another kid, I can't remember all the fourth one, but they had Meg Tierney.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember where she ended up, but all went to play D1. I mean, that's rare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And shows how good of a game that was.
Yeah.
Both times.
Because that was probably one of the.
And I remember, I was young, so 2000, let's just say 2001.
I'm not going to tell you how old I was then.
Well, I was 5.
Okay.
And I do remember it being just ridiculously packed, and how early we had to get there. We got the games early, but we had to get there very early. And I have game film. My dad has old VHS tape. I watched it actually right when I got the job. And the steps are being sat on. People were out the hallway, doorways crammed. Just because it was like Union number 1 in probably 3A, and then AP probably top 2 or 3 team in 2A.
Yep.
And with that many high caliber players, something a lot of people wanted to see. And the money's worth.
And then the boys' game followed and everybody left.
I can't remember.
No, I'm telling you, that's what happened because I was a junior at that time, so I can tell you that's what happened. So even though we had some battles with the Knights back in the day, but that's cool. Those were some pretty awesome teams. So now you don't have to mention specific names or anything like that, but talk about the future a little bit. Future of girls basketball at AP. You mentioned. You've kind of changed the system a little bit to be maybe so, not necessarily focusing on bigs or focusing on, whatever. It's more something that you can sustain throughout the future. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think us going to state and having the success that we've had this year and then last year too is a good year too. Helps a lot, builds interest. Kids want to come watch that and play in that system or play in that culture. But then I think another thing that helped quite a bit actually was the stardom there, the emergence of Caitlin Clark, because after the NCAA tournament when that was going on, not just kids from AP, but everybody on a national scale was talking about her, and that's all the kids. I mean, boy and girl at the middle school level were obsessed with it. So I think that's helped out a ton in interest in basketball.
Caitlin Clark is on our Iowa Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
Just heads up.
Okay, she hopefully not far down the list to get on the pod.
I think we talked about that too.
An invite. We have not heard back.
No,
Yeah.
And we said we'd play her one-on-one.
We did.
She's one that you might actually have to go through her agent.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's helped quite a bit.
Okay. So the obviously the enthusiasm for basketball at AP, it's always been good. It's always been good, but I think you're 100% correct. I think people are excited about it, which is fun. So, Brad, do you got any more questions about basketball, or are you good for me to transition a little bit?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. So now the reason that we really brought you on this podcast to talk about your other coaching endeavor at AP, the junior high girls track coach. Okay. For those that are listening on the pod for the first time, Brady is essentially up for the junior high track coach of the year.
Yep.
With his work with those, and I shouldn't say just girls, working with boys too. He's the track coach.
Track coach.
So obviously there's a little bit of a difference between coaching high school and coaching junior high. What do you consider, again, without mentioning any names, what do you consider some of the biggest maybe challenges going back and coaching the junior high kids?
Yeah. Probably attention span is one.
Yes.
Especially for track, as that is. I remember the first year I did middle school track. It was the year after the COVID year when there was no track season the year before.
Yep.
Until it was brand new for 7th and 8th graders. It's like they would ask me, before the season started, can I do that one relay race? It's like, well,
There's a couple
we
of
gotta
them.
go to the drawing board, and I literally went to Brad's room and to the whiteboard and drew out like, this is a 4x1, this is a 4x2, 4x4.
I remember you showing like
And
hurdles and shot, like all of that.
Yeah, I showed it all because I mean these kids had no idea. How would they? Yeah, how would they?
Well, we took that for granted then the year after because the freshmen, they had a year off. They had no idea.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And we had to go through, talk about block starts and more in depth and all that stuff
And
too.
didn't you guys have a potential anyway for a really good team that year?
The COVID year,
Yeah.
So in 2019, we got second place at state, and we had everybody that competed at state that year was back for 2020.
That would just break me as a coach, but it'd probably break me even more as an athlete.
Well, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And if you remember, during that time, the state did not come out right away and say, "Hey, there's no track season." They said,
they just put you in waiting.
"We're gonna figure this out midway through April, and we'll have decisions." So
could you coach yet then, or did they just kind of you have to just stay active on your own and kind of team-led, player-led, or could you still give them workouts and everything? Because
we could give them workouts, but it was up to them whether they did or not. Now there was a KWWL news story about our team because a good chunk of them, 10 of them or so every day, would come out and do the workouts that I would give them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Plus we would we would do like Zoom workouts with each other, and that was awesome. It was cool. I mean, it was the next best thing, really.
Right. I mean, that's probably a once in a lifetime. I wonder the next time you're gonna do a Zoom track workout during the season.
It's crazy if you think about it now.
Go back and look,
Yeah. But the day that the state came out and said that they were canceling the season was without a doubt.
It just sank.
It was the hardest day of my coaching career. I was up there again on a Zoom call and just balling to the team. And like we had a couple seniors on the team that year, obviously really talented.
Yeah.
But then we had another girl that we actually got to compete at the Unidome that year. That was the last event or the last thing that we did before everything shut down. We were at the Dickinson Relays.
Yeah.
And so I had a girl going out as a senior. She went out for track for the first time. She ran in the 4x8 at Dickinson Relays, and then everything got shut down. So tough.
Yeah.
Really, really tough. But so talk about this season then as a junior high track coach. Obviously things are going really, really well.
Yeah, kids are running good times. I wish I started a record book for the girls last year. I think we've been pretty spoiled with the amount of athletes that have come through, and the times they're running are insane. I think for middle schoolers, I don't know that they realize just how good they. I'm
telling you, they don't.
No, I tried to tell them you guys would be sitting at this spot in 2A in high school, and you guys are doing it with all 8th graders or a 7th and 3 8th graders. That's not normal.
Yeah.
No, but they do work pretty hard throughout the course of the season. They learn a lot. I mean, every time we go out and run, it's almost a PR every single time, which is what you want to see. And hopefully they can grasp that, and goal setting and all that helps out a lot too. Now, when it's chilly out and it's already kind of pulling teeth to get something out there, myself included, it makes it difficult. But that's spring in Iowa. But I think the rest of the year, knock on wood, the rest of the year for track, which is next Tuesday, looks okay.
Yeah. I think what I've seen when I've been at practice for you guys is the kids wanting to learn and wanting to be better.
One thing I took away right away, and I'm a ways out of middle school, and it's been a while since I've been at a middle school practice at another school for something, but I don't remember kids staying afterwards as much as what they do here to work on hurdles or high jump or long jump or go throwing, or they want to run an extra 400. I don't think that it could happen other places, but I just don't think it happens all that much.
Shout out on the pod.
Oh,
This is great.
It is.
Whoever thought we'd be this big, right?
I know, right?
Just kidding.
The whole 40 people that listen.
Yeah. Now, I agree with you. The kids that, like you said, stay after. I mean, that I don't think was really a thing when I was in junior high. I don't think.
For me.
It wasn't for me.
I'll go home and eat.
Yeah.
And I understand that shooting the basketball.
Yeah. This is running.
This is running.
This isn't fun.
No.
And they're doing just a couple days ago, a girl was, I think I'm going to run an extra 400. I literally,
what?
Why?
Yeah, why? Why would you do that?
Just to see what I can do it in.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I think it's trickling up too, because just the other day I had a girl come to me and say, "Hey, I'd like to try the 400 hurdles," and it was the same response. Why?
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
How much that sucks?
Yeah. Probably the hardest event in all of track.
Cool, yeah.
And you're volunteering? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
So I don't know if it's here. I don't know. Obviously the parents have a big say in it. So
yeah,
whatever they're doing, keep it up, because that's great. And
Yeah.
we'll give maybe a little bit of dap for our coaching. Just.
I try to say afterwards, and I say, hey, I keep reminding them, you guys can go home now.
Yeah, you guys know it's after 5, right?
Yeah. At a certain point, I got to get the Crispitos in the microwave.
I love it. Awesome. Well, that's all I have about the coaching. I think that was good. That was like 30 plus minutes of coach talk, so that's good.
That was.
Get back to the school.
We're getting there.
Yep, we're not done yet.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm really impressed. When we walk, it's like we're just trying to not pass out or anything like that,
Right.
and you're doing really well. So good job.
You guys do walk at a faster pace.
This may be the fastest pace we've ever gone.
I thought that before when we started. Like, we are booking this.
Okay, maybe it's just the way it is.
No, it's not usually like this.
I don't know. You got me jacked up. I don't know. But it's good.
Well, it's track season.
When you bring out the big guests, you got to go quick.
Right. Maybe we're nervous. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we just had somebody take a picture of us while we're podding. I don't
Probably.
know. I couldn't tell who it was, but
Paparazzi, they'll get you, man.
paparazzi. Probably show up in People magazine here soon.
Yep.
But cool. Okay. I am gonna, totally flip this around. Now we're gonna get into the really deep dive questions here. So, question number 1: do you believe in the paranormal?
I'm telling you right now, I'm well equipped for anything that comes at me at my house or anywhere for that matter.
I've watched Zombie Apocalypse.
I have watched every season of Ghost Adventures. I've watched YouTube videos of these two guys that go around. I know I've seen every scary movie in the book. I watched every season of Supernatural, which is a fiction show on Netflix, and there's a lot of them.
Stranger Things.
I know how to deal with it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
And my ghost at my house knocked down my poster or my wall decor, and then put a remote in a different spot. Wasn't me.
You do have a roommate though, right? Correct?
Yeah, but
Okay.
Now,
I just want to clarify.
Can you call Rhett a roommate?
buddy?
Here's the thing. I took for granted my parents putting away my dishes or taking out the garbage because I feel like I'm doing it right now with my customer. I'm like, dude, you put the dish on top of the counter that is right above the dishwasher. You could have just put it in there. And I say, I took that for granted. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry.
Hopefully they're listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
right
I'll
now.
have to tell them that.
Mother's Day is coming up here. So
Yes.
Yeah,
maybe
no, I
extra
got an
pressure.
email I got an email actually from Quickstar. They told me that there's a
That
good
Mother's Day was coming up
So she'll probably be getting something.
So
from Quickstar.
yeah, so you mentioned.
She deserves it. It says.
Well, yeah, of
50
course.
cents per gallon. Gift for mom. Kidding me?
Father's Day is also coming up, so yeah, keep
Yep.
that in mind too.
Yeah,
You'll probably get the email from Quickstar. about
Yeah, but then there'll
Father's
be
Day.
like pizza for sale or
Yep.
steaks, something like that.
It'll probably be letting him come do yard work at my house
There you go.
because he's all about it.
Maybe he needs to come to my house because I need
He
a lot
might
of help.
be your way next.
Okay, so you mentioned posters moving in your house, remotes, whatever.
Yeah, it was the remote that was kind of the last straw for me.
I-
Because if
I
I
just-
can't survive with my TV
Yeah.
without my TV, I mean,
Yeah.
we had a come to Jesus moment.
I just love the story with the remote.
It just was in a room we hadn't even been in. Well, but now, Rhett. Now, here's the thing, though. But I saw the poster thing fall. My own eyes, I saw it. But Rhett, he sleepwalks.
Okay.
And actually, I don't know if I should even be saying this, but he drove.
Hey, I have to.
He went to a Quickstar here and filled up his car with gas, but he didn't open the gas tank. He opened his door and gas in the car. And then drove back home. And then it's like, you ruined your car.
Oh man, you might want to get that checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But so that maybe could be a remote theory. I I can't remember what else happened. I feel like there was one more thing that happened.
I just remember reading your snap when the remote thing happened. That you couldn't find it.
The mirror. My mirror.
Oh, the mirror thing
too. The mirror was just flat down on its.
Yep.
The face of the mirror was just flat.
Boxes fell off the couch.
Boxes. I was playing video games probably, and boxes I saw on my peripheral. They just slid and fell off the couch. Which I mean, maybe I would say okay, they were leaning or something, but so much had already happened that I thought this is not a coincidence. This is something doing something to me.
What do you think triggered it? That's the main thing.
Right, Rob.
Okay.
Just a presence in the house I wasn't familiar with.
Are you considering a priest or an exorcist visit to your house?
No, I got it under control.
You got it under control. Feel good about it.
Yeah, you just put a circle of salt around yourself in holy water.
I didn't know. I mean, I knew the holy water. I didn't know about the salt.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
either.
a supernatural thing. That's also from a fiction TV show, but I think it works all right.
It's
It
worked
works
so
for
far.
them.
It's worked so far.
Nailed them. Except one
That's
time,
got to be
that's
true.
Oh,
I got the salt.
That's interesting. That's cool.
So yeah, you just put yourself in a circle of salt. You can't break the circle. I haven't tried it yet, but I will if needed.
Well, yeah, of course. Saving
It's a
yourself.
waste of salt.
No, it's not.
No, not really. I
no,
just
it's
technically-
not.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
I mean, any corn I have will have to just wait.
Okay, so you and I do have at least one thing in common. We both, really like Tom Brady.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Super fan.
Okay, so you're a super fan, and I'm just, I'm a little more than a casual fan.
Actually, right before this, I just watched a 30-minute video on when he was on the Peyton and Eli broadcast or whatever. They were interviewing him. I'm like, well, one, I was taking tips for this
Of course,
because you guys are like the Peyton and Eli.
of course, we
Yeah.
try. We said
Yep.
we
We try.
idolize them a little
Don't
bit
know
too.
who's who. Did you talk about that? Or?
No.
Okay. But I listened to a 30-minute thing because A, I was preparing for this, and B, he's going to be a broadcaster. Not this upcoming year, but he's going to do the following year for 10 years.
I couldn't remember when that was going to be.
Yeah.
For like
yeah.
$100 million.
No, it's a 10-year, $300 million.
Whatever.
Yeah, I idolize the guy. That's everything I do is 12.
So
I have over 400 different football cards of him. Wow. 4 rookies, about 9 jersey cards, multiple thousands worth of dollars. Of
now,
his cards.
did this fascination it didn't start until he was in the NFL? Is that true?
Right, because he was a rookie in 2000. I was 4.
Okay. Okay.
But I do vividly remember watching him in the Super Bowl against the Carolina Panthers, which was not his first one. That was against the Rams.
Correct.
But I remember watching that one at Doughy Joey's.
Oh, rest in
Ooh.
peace. Or
Yeah.
are you talking Waterloo or Cedar Falls?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Couldn't even tell you if it was either one.
Don't get me started. Love that place.
Yeah, I just was watching the Super Bowl. And that is where I saw Brady. I'm like, oh my God, we have the same name.
Yeah.
And there's where it pretty much started. I mean, it goes back a long, long ways. It's not from a recent, 2007 undefeated season or,
Or they choked in the Super Bowl.
it was just, I watched that game and I went to bed. I literally cried. It was 5th grade. And then kids to school the next day came with New York Giants stickers on their face.
Oh, ouch.
Just a slap in my face.
Ouch. Ouch. So the thing that, I always enjoyed hearing about Tom Brady is just how, when he got drafted and he goes in and talks to Robert Kraft and he said something to the hi, I'm Tom Brady.
I'm the best decision this organization has ever met. Best decision this organization has ever made.
And I look at that quote or I hear that quote and I'm thinking, at the time, as a young coach, I'm thinking, I need more of those guys on my team. Now, do you think that now there are more people that probably just say that and don't act on it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, because he's very robotic in what he does. Like his discipline, his self-discipline is just something that I don't think people could make that last for 3 seasons, let alone 20.
Yeah.
I mean, the diet he's on and the plyometrics that he does and the recovery that he does, I just don't think, in this film study, I just don't think it can be sustained for that long. And then obviously to have a good coach as your coach and a good foundation at where you're at.
There probably has never been a better coach-quarterback combination duo in the NFL.
No. And then when he left, too, his personality changed a little. I mean, I don't think it changed because if you really followed him, you could kind of tell how he was. But then when he left, he kind of just let the world know, like, he's actually a pretty chill dude.
He just kind of let loose a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. That's Bruce Arians' effect, probably.
Probably. But it's also, about time after how many years in New England. It's like,
but I mean, I watched Patriots for 20-some years, and it was the Patriot way and all this and that. I think it was just guys taking pay cuts to go play with Tom.
Yeah.
He's one I haven't met. I will meet him one day. I've been to a couple Patriots games. Had access to going back to Coach Hadachek. His son, my grade, he's a big Dolphins fan, and so we went over New Year's Eve to a Patriots game in Foxborough. Crazy day, but he knew offensive lineman coach for the Patriots.
Okay.
And so after the game, we got to go and exclusive access to meet the players and everything. And I was hoping I had my cards and a marker, but he never.
All 400
I
of
feel
them?
like I bought the most expensive ones I thought I had at the time.
That's risky.
That is
It was,
risky.
but the value on those, if I got by chance his autograph, I mean his autograph alone would, but if it was on one of the numbered cards or something where there's only so many and it was autographed, I mean not that I would ever sell it, but I did meet a lot of players. Like I did meet Julian Edelman.
He seems like a good dude.
He is. He's very like on a schedule. Like he was only out there for so long, and when he had to go like now. He's kind of like that. But I did get his autograph. I have his hat and shirt and stuff. So his hat I have, his autograph, and James White, who I also like. That's why I like Patriots too. They got a lot of scat backs.
Yeah.
Small but mighty. Devin McCourty, Dante Hightower, met LeGarrette once. No, not him. I met his security guard.
Oh, I was
okay.
going to say.
I tried. That was my last one I was going for, and he's like, no. I'm like, yep, nope, I get it. He's a big dude. I wasn't trying to argue.
So we're getting towards the end of our run, or walk. Excuse me, there was definitely no run involved. Our walk, and, we're still going uphill. Again.
One last time.
Biggest hill.
So we're kind of winding down here, but it's been good, right?
It has.
I mean, I don't know if we had you on again, I'm not exactly sure what we'd talk about, but would you be willing to come back?
100%. I mean, this temperature right now we're still sitting at a pretty good. I have long sleeves on under this and a jacket and pants, so
you're well equipped.
I'm comfortable. I know the pace now. I'll be better.
And again,
I feel like this is a fast pace for us tonight.
It is.
I'm just trying to keep up with the pros.
That's not us.
Yeah.
But it's May 3rd, and just FYI, I look back at my Facebook memories today, and 10 years ago today,
snow.
I drove in a ditch because it was too much snow.
I saw it on Facebook today.
Wow.
Yeah.
2013.
So that's when I was doing my.
So it could be worse.
It definitely could be worse.
Yeah.
May 3rd, 10 years ago, I would not be on this walk.
I probably wouldn't either. I was doing my student teaching at the state training school in Eldora at the time. So
I was hoping for a no school day the next day
I was in
sophomore
college.
in high school.
You guys are young, but congratulations. Stay that way. That's good. Anyway, Brad, anything else, or are we ready to sign off for the night?
I think we're good.
I think we got to give another special shout out.
The stuff I had, we could wait till the next time he's on.
Well, I was waiting for you to ask questions.
Well,
and you sit there.
You were just rattling them off.
Go.
You had it. Like, I don't want to interrupt the conversation. I didn't want to change it to something completely different.
Well, variety. That's what we're all about here.
I mean, yeah, but what you guys had was good stuff.
Okay.
Got a text.
Is it Tim?
3 guys on a walk now.
Uh-oh.
From who?
Cape Club.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We walked by. We should have given her a shout out.
Should have had her. Yeah.
She didn't even say hi.
She's quiet.
Yeah, she is.
Stared down.
That's probably why she.
She felt intimidated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to call it a night. Post this as soon as get the opportunity here soon. And again, big thank you to Coach Brady Driscol for.
Thank you guys for having me on. Thank you, God, for the weather that we had tonight that I could be on.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
This is us signing off. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.
Later.